Before there was Columbine, before there was Oklahoma City, there was the tower at the University of Texas, and shocking act of violence number 10. 1966 was a year of turmoil in America. Protests for civil rights and against the Vietnam War dominated the headlines. 1966 was also the year America's first public mass murder took place.
Charles Whitman showed us that a person who was well armed and who knew what he was doing could do a great deal of danger in a very short time and get a lot of attention while doing it.
The date, August 1st. 25-year-old architectural engineering student Charles Whitman took the elevator to the top of the University of Texas Tower in Austin.
Well, it was a typical sunny summer day that you're just going to class like you usually would. There was nothing to suggest there was anything out of the ordinary.
Whitman dragged a footlocker full of weapons, ammo, and food. His arsenal included an Army-issue rifle and a semi-automatic M1 carbine.
Once he got up to the reception area and had murdered the receptionist up there, he wanted to block access to the outside deck. He took the dolly that he had rented and had used to bring the footlocker up and wedged it against the outside of the glass panel door.
Below him, hundreds of students and civilians milled about the UT campus. Whitman fired his first shot at 11:48 a.m. The bullet struck 18-year-old freshman Claire Wilson, who was 8 months pregnant at the time. The next bullet struck her boyfriend.
My parents had left me and gone out of town for a couple of weeks, and they had hired these two college kids to come stay with me, and I'd gotten very close to them. And it turns out they were the first two people shot by him. And the woman lost her baby, and the guy lost his life. He was shot through the head.
Another student was gunned down while eating a sandwich in the front yard of a frat house 5 blocks away.
Within a few seconds, a high-power rifle shot came past my right ear, and it hit the gentleman who was standing inside the little newsstand right next door to the drugstore.
One man was shot in the doorway of a barber shop more than a quarter mile from the tower.
He was able to lean over with his high-powered rifle, with a scope, and shoot in any direction he wanted to shoot.
At that day and time, in the society we were living in, it just didn't dawn on you that something like that would happen. So I think people out of curiosity went out and just thought, I'm safe, I'm several blocks away and I'm safe. And unfortunately, that was not the case.
Nobody within view of the tower was safe.
First off, he was a Marine-trained sharpshooter. And evidently he'd been handling guns since he was a kid.
Despite all of Whitman's preparations, one thing he didn't plan for was the swift response of well-armed civilians.
Anybody with a gun was welcome to pull it out and take shots at him. By doing that, they kept him pinned down. They probably saved a lot of lives by doing it. I know it sounds Wild West, but by having a whole bunch of guns on the ground on him, he couldn't look over the railing anymore. He had to go down to the drain spouts that were at the bottom, and that limited what he could do.
Austin patrolman Houston McCoy was one of the officers on the scene. McCoy took the elevator to the 27th floor of the tower. There, he met up with officers Ray Martinez and Jerry Day, along with a civilian who was also hoping to stop the gunman.
When they got the door open, I believe Martinez went out first, Houston went out second.
Martinez turned back around on all four, and we made our way up to the northeast corner.
At the same time, Officer Jerry Day and civilian Alan Crum had headed on the south deck, and for whatever reason, Alan Crum had a rifle he was unfamiliar with thrust into his hands. He let out a round, and it smacked into the west wall, so that got Whitman's attention. Martinez immediately sprayed 6 shots out of his revolver And within a split second after that, Houston McCoy let 2 shots out of his shotgun.
I shot the shotgun and hit him right square in the face first. His little head just started bouncing every which way. So I jacked in another shot, and then I shot him in his left-hand side.
97 minutes after the shooting started, Charles Whitman lay dead atop the University of Texas clock tower. The ex-Marine shot 43 people that day. The death toll reached 15.
All you could see where people had gotten shot was pretty gory. I gotta tell you, it was like a battlefield.
In his suicide note, Whitman requested an autopsy. Doctors discovered a pecan-sized lump at the base of his brainstem. Experts disagree whether the tumor triggered Whitman's violent outburst. The incident changed the way police departments across the nation operate.
Yeah, the University of Texas shooting was sort of the inception, I think, of a lot of the SWAT teams and understanding that you had to have a whole new way of policing a response to something like this.
In 2007, 41 years after the attack, the city of Austin honored 13 people for their bravery in the face of exceptional danger.
Everybody should have credit for what they did up there that day.
This was something that needed to be done, and it just took all of us. This was it's a pretty big deal. Wasn't no one-man show.
When we continue, a speeding train filled with commuters trapped by a gunman with a murderous grudge.